just as we're kind of introducing and getting everybody kind of back into the general flow of it, we were kind of talking about all these different tools, and we were just kind of brainstorming, and it's kind of how we're just starting our morning, just kind of getting the juices flowing and such. Shannon, if you're okay with it, can you just kind of sum up a few things that we talked about web and cloud, some of the features, advantages, and benefits, and we'll just kind of get some things going.
Yeah, web and cloud has many, many great assets. I mean, it's fast. You can access it anywhere on any sort of a device that can connect with the internet. It's centralized and unlimited storage. Essentially, it's incredibly versatile, and it can have many different looks and feels and features, and you can link with other outside sources or animations, video, print. I mean, you can search all sorts of things. It's not a problem if your computer does crash. You can access web and cloud from any device, not even your own. And you cut your IT information costs down because you aren't having to monitor and manage any of that. It's mobile. You can take it on the go. You can be in the airport or in the car, essentially anywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
You can be on it anytime. Mm-hmm. You can be on it in class. I mean, it's really unlimited, almost essentially, and becoming more and more so. It's more accessible all over the place. No upgrades, everything new can get pushed right up, so you can get the fastest cutting edge the day it's there.
So this one right here, this is just for fun, but this was from Joe, but he actually kind of gave us a few of these acronyms. We're going to just go like this, ADILAS. Okay, these are just some of the fun ones that he kind of said that were just kind of funny, if you will. These came right from Joe.
Yeah.
You want to go through that, and then we'll...
Definitely. Those are great. All data is live and searchable, secure, serviceable, so it's easy to work with, it's easy to access. On secure, it's user-specific. You have to log in and have passwords, and there's various other elements that are measures taken to keep things secure, scalable, one-to-manys everywhere, all throughout the system, even one-to-many corporations. Sustainable. We talked about being able to go paperless and being able to put up scans and all sorts of computer images and make your entire office paperless. So sustainable was more in that, but also the longevity of it, and more things are becoming cloud and web-based.
Okay, awesome. We were having fun with this, and Joe was actually the one who kind of participated in this conversation when we were kind of talking cloud, but like basically what it does is you just keep escalating to the next tool and the next tool and the next tool. They do have limitations. Every single thing will have a limitation. As you get more and more complicated, you're now relying more and more on computers. You're relying more and more on education and helping people to learn and different things like that. So that's kind of interesting. Shannon, can you keep going? You're doing great.
Sure. We talk about skin things. I mean, we put API later down to talk about that later, but you can still change the look and the feel and how things flow through and processes. You can cut steps, you can speed things up, you can make it easy to use, you can interface so that it's just really simple. There's so many options. You can essentially do whatever you want with it.
For sure.
A lot of the younger generations are definitely very apt at using it as well. We saw that on Tuesday, just how fast a lot of them take to technical things, and they get in, they figure it out, and they consume this in amazing quantities.
Yes, and they're willing to click and bounce and jump, and if they realize that things are kind of somewhat compartmentalized, almost like in a drawer, and they're like, oh, I just need to go to that drawer, and then I'll find what I need. Oh, I need to bounce over to this other drawer because it's over here, versus a traditional software package, you're expecting it all to be right there in front of you. Or an Excel spreadsheet, it's right there in front of you, every single column, every single row. But like when you start getting into a web application, it's literally you have things stored in different drawers, and then you're kind of playing according to that. Okay? Awesome. So we then started kind of talking about some limitations. Was there anything else that came to your mind as we were talking about this as far as like, what are some pros of the cloud? And
So many. I mean, that's why people are heading to it.
I would say this. We don't even really know. We're actually currently pioneering some of these places.
Mm-hmm.
DBIT?
Yes, correct.
We don't know. We really don't know, but that's actually kind of fun. It almost creates this like potential. Lots of it. Okay, awesome. So we're getting close to kind of finishing up our little thing, and then we'll actually start going right into some training. What it does is we are going to be using cloud technology today to be talking about business tracking. How do you get your financials, your banks, your this? How do you tie things together? How do you allow it to be compartmentalized, permissionable, settings, and all this kind of stuff? So that's kind of where we're going. Shannon, let's have you do some limitations if you're okay with that.
Definitely. Some limitations would obviously be access to the internet, but that's becoming less of a problem. There's more internet access, more places, and many are becoming free. Town grids, town parks, it's becoming extremely prevalent. So if you don't have an internet signal, you would have to get to where you have one, but like we even discussed with 3G and 4G and so many different options, it's becoming less and less of a problem.
Correct.
Access is very available. So one thing that people are worried about with cloud technology is security issues, or is it secure? And a lot seems still unknown with that in many ways. There's arguments either way, but security is something that people have a concern about. If everyone can access it, does that mean
it's not
that there's
safe.
problems? It's not safe, exactly. So it does require a certain skill set, and Santiago said he gets those calls and concerns all day. So about security.
So let's talk about this for just a second. What is the scare? What is it that's so scary? It is semi-unknown, okay? And because you don't physically have it on your computer, you're like, oh, no, who's actually monitoring this? Where's it at? You know, like it brings up questions. Because you don't physically have it, or you can't touch it. Like, where is it? Like, you're just not sure. And so basically, we're talking about a limitation of cloud, and that is one of the limitations. We also, I would almost go like this. Movies, what do movies do? The media almost portrays it as not being safe. Because what does everybody do? They get the pro hacker,
their
right?
systems and create all this havoc.
It's called vulnerability.
VULNERABILT. Yeah.
Okay, my screen is jumping all over. I don't think it likes me very much. Okay, anyway, I think that's great. That is important that we can kind of talk about security.
Did you want to talk about security and ways it is secure? No.
Absolutely.
That'd be a good time.
Do you think that we should put right here where we do it, or like just kind of like make a little thing? Why don't we go like this? How about something like that, okay? Okay, the first thing that we do is we start right immediately with HTTPS. And the S is very important. This deals with a thing called Secure Socket Layer, SSL, okay? Okay, so basically what this does is it encrypts things. So it garbles, sends, ungarbles due to a key, like a private and a public key, okay? So I'm just going to call it encryption. And I don't even know if I spelled that right, okay? Okay, so that's one of the first things that we use. So when we browse an Adilas site, we look for this little thing right here, the lock icon, the S. What this stands for, just in case some people don't know, like what the heck does the S stand for? And I know it's kind of a random thing, but basically what the HTTPS stands for is Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. Okay, like I know that that's way long, but it's Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP. That's normal web. Okay, HTTPS is then taking that Hypertext Transfer Protocols and making it secure. Okay, so that's kind of your first layer of defense. You encrypt things. Okay, you run it over the SSL. Okay, one of the next things you do is you check login. Okay. We have a 3 strikes you're out. Okay, so a 3 strikes you're out failed login policy. Here's what happens right here. I'll show you right this minute. Say I type something in here and I hit it. Hey, sorry, I couldn't find it, okay? You only get 3 chances to log in correctly, and you hit back. And you try it again, and you're typing in something random again. You try it. Hey, check your spelling. I can't find any matches to this. And then you do it one more time. Hey, you can't do it again. So if they try it again, they will basically get this message. I'm sorry, you've now exceeded your logout. Like, if you actually went back to the page to, like, you could keep trying, but guess what? No matter what you try, even if I actually put a real live one that is correct, that's a real live login and password, and I try to log in, it's still blocked, okay? So that's called 3 strikes you're out login policy, okay? Basically what it's doing is like, nope, 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 I'm sorry. It kind of tells you a number of different things as far as what happens. In order to reset this, the physical, like Adilas way up at the kind of upper level, let's call it the universe level, we can't reset that computer, okay? What has to happen is it physically has to be done on the browser, and it's literally a hand-typed entry that needs to change, okay? This is the address where I was at, login_action.cfm. This word right here physically needs to be changed to the word reset, okay? And then I have to hit enter. And then I'll say, oh, cool, I'll give you a chance to try again, okay? And then I have 3 more chances, and then it'll lock me out. 3 more chances. Like, basically, that's the only way that you can actually reset that. We don't publicize that in the help files. We do inside the system, but not outside, because we don't want everybody to necessarily know that. But that is our most #1 tech support question we get. I locked myself out of the system. How can I get back in? And the secret is, let me show you this. I'll just go right back in. ADILAS, EEMO, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is real. So it'll now let me into the system. When you actually get to the page that you're going to work on, say I was on AAA Tree Care, okay? If you go to the classic homepage or any of the 3 homepages that we provide as default settings for you, say you're on the map, and if you hit help, the bottom of the help files, each and every one of them has that same exact, hey, if for some reason you get locked out of the system, type the following address into your browser. It's documented multiple places, but it's from within the secured environment that we document that so that it's not kind of public access. That's a security piece that we do inside of Adilas right off the bat, okay? I'm just going to kind of temporarily go back to there, and we're going to go back here. Okay, HTTPS, 3 strikes you're out. Okay, so we have this cool thing that we call permissions, okay? So each corporation it's kind of like a virtual world, has users assigned, okay? Each page in the system checks for a 3-way tie, okay? It has to match 3 things. Three-way tie, or I don't even know, or let's call it a code, okay? Basically what it is. And what it does is it goes like this: corp to user, and then user to permission on each page. Okay, so basically what it does is it creates a 3-way thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch really quick back so I can draw it. I mean, I think most people can kind of understand it, but what happens here is you basically have this type of thing going on, okay? You have your world, okay, which is technically your corporation. You have a user, which is technically one of your groups. Let's just say that this blue guy right here is the person we're talking about, and he belongs to the user group. What it does is each page that you land on, it comes out and it checks this little sub thing, basically, that has permissions. So it goes like this: corporation to user to permission. Oh, cool. You may pass. You may not pass. And so that basically allows you to create the system that needs to happen, okay? It's a 3-way deal. You check user to page to permission every single time. And there's 100 different permissions and 1,000 different pages, so we're checking this every single time, sometimes even multiple ones. Okay, you have a basic permission, but you don't have the advanced permission, or whatever might happen, okay? So that's one of the security issues that we deal with inside of Adilas all the time. And if your permissions can change in a heartbeat, okay? So watch this, just for a second. I'm just going to kind of show you what's going to happen. I'm going to go to the classic home page, and I'm going to click on the Adilas demo person right here, and I'm going to change one of their permissions, okay? So currently, okay, real quick before we do this, I'm going to hit back. Sorry, I went too far. I just want to show you one of the permissions that we're going to turn on. Okay, let's say that start new cart right here, okay? Currently, I can go to this page because I have that permission. If I go turn that permission off, what happens is I will no longer be able to access that. It literally checks on every single page. Adilas demo, I'm going to go to my system assets. Oh, actually, that's under system basics, my bad. And right here, start new cart, turn it off, go to the bottom of the page, update my payee, click, come back to the main page. Okay, I don't even see that link, but say I knew how to get into it. I'm like, aha, guess what? I'm a hacker. Okay, now it looks like I'm actually here, but watch this. If I hit refresh on this page,
Probably have the admin versions.
I might have a different one that it's checking here on the retail start cart, but basically I shouldn't even be able to see this particular page. And if that's a problem, I will note it. Shannon, can you note that? I'm not sure. I would actually have to check the code to see what that particular page. I probably have some invoicing permissions, and so it's kind of like, okay, hey, you do have an invoicing permission, you just didn't have that one turned on. It might even be doing a dual check. Let's go turn off some invoice permissions and just see what's going on real quick. And that may have been a random thing, but please make a note of that, Shannon, and we will check it out. So I'm going to go to System Assets, and I'm going to turn off a few of my quoting and invoice options so that I shouldn't even be able to touch that at all. Okay? We'll just go down to the bottom and edit that, and we'll come back here, and we'll see if it lets us in now. Let's say we're going to try to hack it again. Okay, I was clear in the custom level, no problem. Let me just change that. We switched way out. Okay, and it may be that this permission isn't. Let's see what happens if I try to do it. Okay, I'm technically in here. I need to check that. that looks like a potential hole, and I will find it and we'll figure it out, okay? Nonetheless, this is how we do it. We just keep playing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you a different one just for a second, okay? Just because I really want to show you what it really does and what it means. Let's go to password and profile, okay? So right here, here's password and profile. I'm currently on this page, okay? I'm going to actually go to my permissions and turn that guy off. So I'm going to add edit pages and permissions. Just so I don't screw up the next person who's in here, I'm going to go to System Basics, and I'm going to go ahead and put my cart stuff back on. But I'm going to take off my password and profile, and then I'm going to go down to the System Assets and turn back on some things in case the Adilas demo user comes in and they're like, why can't I do that? So I basically turned a couple ones back on, and then I turned off the password and profile. So if I come to the main page and I go to the classic homepage, I do not have it. And then say if I knew the exact name of the page and everything, so once again, it looks like I'm here. Boom. That's what I was looking for right there. I'm sorry. Your permissions seem to have been changed. You no longer have access to this page. It can tell that you had one at one time, but it doesn't allow you to then play. Okay? So even though I was able to see it, it virtually won't even allow me to do something. Watch this. If I hit back and say, what I was going to try to do is actually show you if I tried to modify it. When it goes to the next page, it checks on that page again. So it's like, oh, no, sorry. You can't even play. So even if you're midway through something and if a permission gets changed, it's on the server. So it automatically rains down to whatever action is taking place there. So we'll just really quick turn that back on just so we don't create any problems. We'll go right here. We'll go to System Basics. And I'll find password and profile. Click. And bottom of the page, edit. So now if I go back to my classic home page, I will have that link, password and profile. And it allows me to come in. Okay. So anyway, what we were trying to do is talk about general security and some different pieces of that pie. Okay, another thing that we actually do is we actually have, because we play in this kind of a realm, so let's talk just really quick about cloud, okay? So we're way up at the universe level, and things are kind of spread all over, and imagine almost like a galaxy or a star system. You potentially have people who are playing over here, people who are playing over here, people who are playing over here. How do you make sure that nothing happens inside of your world that was a cause and effect from somebody else? We have to secure that, do we not? So what we do is we virtually kind of create this little perimeter around your world, and it's like a fenced-in area. Only people who have access to that do it. We also monitor behind the scenes. It's like a surveillance system. It's basically, we call it system history. Okay? What it does is it tracks every single piece of the puzzle. Okay? So even right here under Adilas demo, if I were to click into right here, for instance, my login history. Here's when I came in. Okay? This was what's happening. Say I wanted to say, what was my personal history type thing. Click. Okay, here's when I got changed. Like, these are behind the scenes. This is kind of telling us who did what. So we actually call that kind of a system history. How do you spell surveillance?
S-U-R. There's an I.
Okay, I'm not sure. We'll check it out. So is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we keep tracking all these different little things, and so those are some of the small little pieces of security. If you wanted a bunch of information on Adilas and the security, what I would recommend that you do is go to any help file. It doesn't even matter which page you're on. Click on the user guide. Scroll down until you get right here to main website features, logins, passwords, permissions. If you click here, here are paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs that talk about security, okay? The three-way lookup, the, whatever's going on as far as the protecting you from cross-site scripting, allowing this and this and this. Here's a whole bunch of information on security as far as like what's going on behind the scenes with the engines so that we can kind of secure it, okay? They're literally, it checks valid logins, it checks, different little pieces of the puzzle. Like, this kind of has a lot more information if you want the rundown on it. And once again, the way I got to that is literally from any page, you click on Help. No matter what the page is, you look for the thing that says Steps to Success. You scroll down until you get to the logins, passwords, or permissions. Either one of those will take you right to where you want to go, and you just start reading this little document of what is going on with the security behind the scenes. Okay? Perfect. That's a great question,